and welcome to the Scratticus Academy. We are back with some more werewolfy goodness today, and before I hand over to our lovely Alpha, I'm just going to yell about a few things first over here. Please check out all the links coming up in chat now. That includes the Discord. We have a chat room effectively just for this show. We'd love to hear what you think about it. Also, if you'd like to get into this game or one of our other viewer games, go and drop Scrat a DM on Twitter and we will get you in a game. Also, if you've missed out on anything, you can head over to YouTube. We put all of our games in playlists so that they are easy to either catch up on or just rewatch. Also, please check out the content warning for this game before we get started. A huge thank you to our wonderful sponsors who we couldn't do this without, in the form of Mayhem Press. You can see their Fey Folio on a Wednesday. You can see their Fey Folio on a Wednesday if you want to come try that out. Also one of our viewer games. They also created Dark Matter, which you can now get in hardback. It's one of my favorites. It's D&D in space, and everyone needs D&D in space in their life. Also Hero Forge with the painted minis. You can find us tomorrow, Scrat and I, our new show where we create and use their beta to paint some of the minis, and it's so good. Tune in to find out. Also the Deck of Many, with the Deck of Many Things and the Moving Magic spell cards, and also Humblewood, which is incredibly wholesome. It's lots of woodland critters trying to save the forest. That's every Thursday, and that is another one of our viewer games, so if you'd like to give that a go, drop Scrat DM. Last but certainly not least, also Dungeon Fog for your map and note making needs, whether it's a campaign or a one-shot. As you update your notes, the map updates, and vice versa, so that you don't keep it backwards and forth. It's a really good tool. Otherwise, let's hop around and say hello to everyone, and we'll start with Lily Sparks. Oh, hi.
Oh, hi. It's lovely to be here, as always. Thank you. Hi, I'm Lily Sparks. You can find me on Instagram and Twitter with an X. I'm currently on a hiatus, but you can still come and find me there, and I'll be around again eventually when all this is over. I'm streaming a lot in lots of places. You can find my schedule by checking me out at Lily Sparks with an X. And yeah, happy to be here again. Can't wait to be a werewolf again.
Werewolfy goodness. Awesome, thank you. And then I'm gonna hop over and say hello to our guest player today. Is it Vert Madness? Is that how I say it?
Yeah, technically Virtual Madness, but somebody already took my name. Yeah. So it's
Oh, I know that feel.
Yeah, but it's great to be here. I'm nobody special, so I'm just a random player.
That's a lie. Otherwise, we're very happy to have you here today. I was supposed to go to last, it's me, so I've just realized that. I'm White Rabbit Pig. That's where you can find me on Twitter. I am a DM on this channel. I'm the other half of the Academy, and I'm also becoming a DM on some other channels, so keep your eyes open. Also, I do photography. Please check out my Patreon. I do photography stuff. I'm normally an outdoor photographer, but right now, it's not really happening, but I am doing a lot of bits and bobs for my Patreon whilst inside. Otherwise, I will hand over to our lovely Alpha. Oh, hi.
Well, welcome everybody. Man, it's been a while since I've said that. I'm so happy to be back. Thank you all for tuning in today. So we were gone for a couple weeks as I was moving 600 miles, but it's fine. I am Kaya Gaston. I will be your alpha for this evening for this Tweet Monster of the Week game called In the Light of the Moon, where there are werewolves, and it's what they can do. It's not who they are. Happy to have both of my werewolves today. I guess without further ado, let's just kind of hop in and go over what happened last session, as I know it's I need a recap, as I'm sure my players do as well. Previously, our group was approached by a very strange and seemingly powerful a man named Marius. Marius disclosed to them that they had a love child of sorts with an entity called a Rougarou, and that love child had gotten out of control, and that that he needed the assistance of the group to essentially neutralize this threat, and that it was out of his, humble whatever that he was asking for their help. The group did their own kind of research into Regru and found that whatever information he was giving seemed to line up, and they concocted a plan to lure this entity out of the town before it massacred many people and ate them, and to a powerful hotspot in Silver Hollow where they would burn the creature. They unfortunately, after killing it, noticed that the ground itself began to decay and die as a corruption took earth and began to stretch towards the town. And Marius, with a wink and a smile, said, "I couldn't have done it myself," and disappeared into the ether. And that is where we left off, with our two humans heading back into town, our one werewolf left there trying to figure out what's going on. Players, take it away.
I think Pan was updating Reese on everything. Again, far too in-depth. No detail is left out. This is multiple messages sort of coming Reese's way.
Yeah, I think Reese... How long has it been since Reese was last spotted?
I'd say it hasn't been too long. You came back into town, a lot of things happened, and then you kind of went away for a couple days. I would say just like 3-4 days max.
Okay, cool. Yeah, so she's getting all of the download and just a thumbs up.
Just sort of, I think Pan just expects that now. It's like, oh, good, message received. And sort of, I think Pan probably, first of all, she'd go back to the doctor's surgery purely because it's her job. And she's technically supposed to be there and not doing the other stuff she's doing. But she'd probably wait for Reese to get back and for something to happen, because she knows something bad has happened but can't do anything about it until it's almost like she's probably sat in her office awkwardly on edge because she's waiting for that bad thing to happen so she can react to it.
Mm-hmm. I feel like Reese would be like, I feel like she's just spent time away again, and then for the same reason as last time, she's dealing with whatever from her past and her old town, and so coming back here, she's just a little reserved. And then, but knowing everything that happened and like Pan being in danger, I feel like she would want to almost like in a way to protect her, but like kind of do her own research somehow. Like maybe if she can go to the library, the dreaded library where her parents work or something, and start doing, just hitting the books, doing research. Like now that Pan's okay, she wants to ensure that like Pan stays okay, but also still be a little reserved.
You have successfully avoided that library, the hub of so much information for you that I built as a little nugget for all of you. It says, hey, here's hundreds of years worth of research. You're like, nah, my parents work there. I'm not into it. It's really lame. I don't want to go to the library. I'm like, all right.
It's a breaking point now.
It's a breaking point.
Keep getting hurt.
Finally found the button.
What? Yeah.
Okay, so Pan trying to find some semblance of normalcy and to exert some form of control over a situation that seems out of control.
She's literally patching herself up in her own office. If ever anyone comes in and she's there trying to touch, she's like, get out! Every time someone else comes in.
I really just picture
yeah,
Pan just very much like the
beast
Beast from Beauty and the Beast, like
yeah, it's just trying to do it.
Perfect. We'll say, Lily, you head to the library while Pan desperately tries to bandage himself up. Maltheus. Am I pronouncing that? Maltheus?
Maltheus.
Maltheus. We'll say that why don't you go ahead and just introduce your character and kind of who they are, what they look like, and I will tell you probably where best your character would be placed in this moment.
Sounds good. All right, so Malthus is a genderless divine and walks around in a very perfect dark suit with a dark shirt underneath, but no tie, and wears like just skinny little sunglasses with about shoulder long brown hair. And if they were to remove their sunglasses, you'd notice that the eyes are black, but if you look closely, you can actually see like an entire galaxy, starry galaxy in their eyes. And other than that, they just look like a probably shady agent.
Well, we love our shady agents. Perfect. Your character, upon coming to this town, came, from what I understand, to halt the corruption, to try and prevent it from happening, but showed up a little too late, as with some divine intervention. Sometimes they're just not at the perfect timing. You would want to go to the first place that has a wealth of information on the town and the people who are here to protect it. So your best place to go would be the library.
Library.
I know. So you would see Reese. We'll say probably with your divine sense, your galactic eyes can tell that Reese is not completely human. But you would also have your connections, so you would be in the hub of where it's no longer, Harry Potter books, it's tomes and scrolls.
And I got all the tomes and scrolls piled up around me.
So what exactly are you looking for, Reese?
Well, I think that I would generally be looking for some kind of pattern between the types of monsters that are appearing, and maybe like searching through old news articles for like any other similar occurrences.
Okay.
And also just like definitely trying to avoid my parents. I imagine my parents as like very nice, bookish people who are just like, always concerned for their daughter who's like never been the most normal, and they're just like really sweet and just like, go away though.
I'm sure they probably work in the more mundane sections of the library and not in the sections that Aminata runs or Malkin uses. And Malthus, you see these tomes. Feel free to approach if you feel you'd like to, and share whatever you'd like to with them. Take it away.
Yeah, in that case, I probably would approach her, but not out of like knowing what she's doing, but more out of curiosity of, it's like, I'm here for this. Like, I haven't seen the corruption spot, so I don't know that it has up. That I'm late. I don't know that yet. So I'd approach her in a way saying, excuse me, I am looking for some information. Would you be able to help me? You seem very knowledgeable.
Oh, and for reference also, so when you approach Reese is like, I think 6'2", 6 feet, 6'2", somewhere around there. She's a very tall girl. Picture Asian Slenderman. If Slenderman was an Asian girl, that would be Reese. And she just has like long black hair that just like falls over her face, and I feel like she's like piled up over these books, like intent on like saving her best friend. And then she just like peers at me with like big eyes, and she's like, "Oh, yeah, my parents don't work here. That's not why I'm here. But I do know how to use the library. What do you need help finding?"
You just see like one eyebrow go up over the glasses. You're like, okay. Yes, I'm here to look into some possible demonic influence in this town. Would you be able to help me with that?
Coincidentally, I might also be looking for information of that sort. Who are you?
The name is Malthus.
I'm Reese.
Oh, wonderful to meet you. I'm
I
here,
have collected a
looking-
bunch of books here that might help us.
Oh, wonderful. Have you found anything on a demon named Marius?
Have I found anything on a demon named Marius?
Let's see. Ooh. Because I never just want to be like, yeah, sure. You can just open a book. Let's roll as if we're rolling investigate a mystery. Let's roll a sharp. And let's see how well you're able to utilize this library. Rolled a 5. Well, the good news is you get to mark experience.
Yay, experience. I'm almost full of experience.
We'll say for now, your mind is swimming with the fact that your very good friend Pan was injured, and you're doing your very best. That you're frantically looking through pages, but it's almost like you're in a haze that you can't read anything because you're so panicked that you're not able to find anything at this moment. So we'll say we're starting at scratch at this point.
Cool. I'll just say I got the books, didn't I? I just haven't. I haven't found anything about a demon named Marius, but I have the books here, and the books will have something, probably. Usually. They might not. But the two of us, it'll go much faster.
Well, then I shall assist you.
Okay.
All right.
I feel like if they sit down, Reese, just like behind a stack of books, is just gonna pull out her phone and just like text Pan the emoji of the sunglasses guy, the sunglasses face, and then the book pile emoji.
Anne's doing that thing where she's trying to type, sees the phone buzz, and is like trying to like open it. The thing is she's trying to do, and it's like face down on the desk, and it's open. It's like, I don't know if, and then sort of, have you used these emojis before, or is this like, because I can't picture you at a library. I don't think Pan's ever meant you.
I mean, I think Pan would know that my parents work at the library, so I think before, maybe there have been conversations of like, where are your parents? And then I just text book pile. So maybe that one, but definitely not sunglasses emoji. You'd
get like the caps lock back library exclamation mark question mark exclamation mark question mark, and it's not spelt properly because she's like trying to, it's got like there's like a V in there and stuff like that.
I text thumbs up.
And she's like, just puts, I am on my way. Again, doesn't make sense, full of like H's and T's, and she's like doing it up and trying to slide everything into her bag before like ducking under the thing and just walking out of the doctor's surgery. And if anyone tries to talk to her, she's ignoring them, it's just she's got blinkers on now, so she's off.
It's like talking to my mother-in-law in text. I'm having like PTSD
like
flashbacks of what are you saying?
It's like talking to me in text. Okay.
So with Pan on her way, I'm just gonna peek up over my pile of books at Malthius, who is probably just like looking at the books maybe, and I'll just say, also, my friend is coming, and you should be nice to her because she knows a lot of things. And they sink back behind the book.
Just looks up from where the voice came from. It's like, okay, nods, and then just gets back to flipping, like fairly gracefully through the book.
All right, Malthius, why don't you go ahead and roll me your own investigative mystery roll?
All right, that was the sharp, right?
Yes.
7.
That's a success. Barely, but it's a success. I could be so mean. I could just give you disadvantage, but I'm not.
I already got a -1.
Not the sharpest tool, huh? Sometimes you don't need to be. So you get to ask me one of the following questions at any time. What happened here? What sort of creature is it? What can it do? What can hurt it? Where did it go? What was it going to do? Or what is being concealed here? Or because some of those maybe don't usually, like sometimes the questions don't help with the situation. If you feel that there's a different question that you feel you want to ask me, you could do that as well.
I actually would go with the first one because in my case, I don't know that the corruption's happened yet. So that sounds like something I would ask.
So what happened here is essentially for lack of a better term, a corruption. It took something that was supposed to be a ritual that was to kind of like cleanse an entity and wash it from the world, and using a hotspot in the powerful ley line in this town to do that was corrupted by something unknown. And it was in one of the most powerful hubs of this town that is already located pretty close to the Vale, and it is slowly seeping its way throughout the town of this ley line.
Okay, in that case, I would kind of like mumble to myself, but loud enough so that others around me could hear it. I'd mumble something along the line, well, that's no good, and flipping through some more. Oh, bad timing.
Bad timing. Womp womp.
What's no good?
Do I feel her like looking at me or something? Or it's like, are you looking over the books or?
Yeah.
Yeah, I'm looking over the books. This is my book pile that I imagine.
And she said, what's no good?
Did you find something?
Yes. It seems what I came here to do or to prevent has already happened. Are you aware of the ley lines in this town?
Yes, I think.
Theoretically.
She says yes very confidently.
Absolutely.
Well, in that case, I was like, just like one-handed, like close the book and be like, well, I was sent here to stop the corruption of these ley lines. However, it seems the corruption has already happened.
That makes sense. There has been a lot of icky monsters around. Like every week, it seems like. Like every week, it's a new monster of the week.
Almost like it's the title of the game or something.
Almost.
It's like we fight them in the light of the moon.
Yeah.
Pan has seen a lot of them. Pan, my friend, she's coming here. And usually we meet at the diner and we eat pancakes, but today it's more serious because the monsters just keep coming and we're trying to protect everyone, but there's a lot of monsters.
Well, more serious is definitely a good way to put it. It seems Marius is more active than we expected.
Can you tell me more about Marius?
Oh, I can tell you this isn't the first town he is corrupted, and we've been trying to put a stop to it, but he's always been a step ahead, and it seems like that has been the case again this time.
That's not good. And creeps back behind the pile of books and just keeps reading because that's the only thing she can think of doing right now.
And that's fine.
Knowledge is power.
We'll say that there are still other resources that are at your disposal. You're not horribly alone in this, and that's a huge reason for this library to be in existence. And so Aminata, Aminato, who was the previous pack alpha. Oh, I finally get to describe her. You're in the library. Aminata was one of the first pack alphas. She is from Mali. She is about 5'6". She looks to be in her mid-70s. She has a thick French accent that I will not even attempt to do because I will butcher it and it will be very insulting. But she has a few scars on her, but she, though, is pushing 250, 300 years old, still looks pretty spry in her 70s. Werewolves are pretty awesome. She stepped down to let your current alpha, Jay, take over as the PAX leader, while she took more of a research role, and she runs this secret section of the library that houses a lot of the research that they've been collecting over the past few hundred years of Silver Hollow's creation, founding, growth. Some of it they've learned on their own, some of it they've learned from other allies, other interactions, previous tomes that have been handed down to them from other people called from across the world. And she runs this section of the library. So she would come over and have a conversation with you and hearing what you both are researching as well, and would start to pull a few tomes out to hand to you. Some of them deal with powerful rituals. Some of them deal with ancient demons, so it's a little bit more demonology books. And flipping through that, you find, and she'll even give you some information on the Ruguru. And is the information that Pan had given you, you understand that, yeah, everything that you've done was done correctly, and so you don't understand why this corruption took hold. And they, the more you flip through it, we'll say that probably it takes Pan about 15-20 minutes to get here. So about the time that Aminata's setting down some tomes for y'all to flip through, Pan, you would enter in.
Anne does not understand the concept of being quiet in a library, so you probably hear a door crash open as she's still trying to. She's not doing it to be annoying. She's just chaos on legs, and she sort of walks in. If people are reading or at the desk, you go hello, like quite loudly in a friendly sort of way. I'm looking for Reese. And sort of like leaning over if there's like a counter or something, and she's being loud about it. She's not a quiet person. Is Reese here?
Yeah. Reese, tall.
Real tall.
Like Slender Man tall. It's a little off-putting.
Is it?
Yeah.
Slender Man.
We got to introduce you to the pop culture section of the library. Yeah, she's in the back with Aminata.
Aminata's in the. Okay, I'll see it. What was your name again? Sorry.
Tracy. Because that's what I'm going to come up with on the spot. Tracy.
Thank you, Tracy. And even if Pan hasn't met her before, she just assumes no one knows. She's like, I'm Pan.
Yes, I know who you are. I literally see you every year for my yearly checkup.
You're that Tracy?
Yeah.
Like, it's just like the one with the high blood pressure and the
Listen,
right,
let's not. I've been working out. I've been taking meds. I've changed my diet.
You've made improvement. How are you feeling? And she starts like having an awkward conversation.
The anxiety is a little high. I know there's been some weird stuff going on in the town, and I feel like that might be where my blood pressure comes from, as she sips probably what is her third or fourth cup of coffee for the day.
Yeah, as she does that, she literally moves the coffee out of her hand and reaches into her like satchel and pulls out a bunch of tea bags, because she always says like, you're gonna want to try this green tea instead. Coffee's not good for you.
How much sugar can I put into this?
Just don't.
Oh.
For now.
Okay. Well, that's fair.
Maybe go
fair.
for a walk away from. In fact, no, don't go for a walk. She suddenly thinks of what happened last week. She said, "No, go for a walk. Maybe go home, watch a calming film, listen to some music."
I'll go home and watch Slender Man.
Again, I don't know what this is. Is this a thing on the internet?
It's a horror movie. I don't. Super creepy. It's really cool.
Think Reese looks like that?
Like not like just in not like in personality, but like sometimes characteristics she's a little lanky, you know? I've just inserted myself into this game and I feel very uncomfortable.
It's okay. Pan is awkward as hell.
Like, these are my movements.
These are my Slender Man arms.
Yeah, if I go, it makes me look even longer if I go in the webcam. This is the content everybody is here to watch today.
And Pan's like, okay, so like out the back.
Out the back, yeah.
Okay, and as Pan goes, she's gonna walk past the desk and swipe the tub of coffee and put it in her bag.
Oh, you bastard! I'm like sad now. It's like, don't touch my coffee. Listen, it's a Russian roulette. Is it gonna kickstart the anxiety or the brain? We don't know.
It's like enough sleep will do you good. Puts it in and starts walking to the back of the library.
That's fair. So you would walk through the back double doors and it leads to spiral staircase. It goes down because it's really cool into a very extensive library. There are some artifacts in here that are being studied. There's countless books, tomes, some scrolls in the back that are kept in kind of like a all I can think of is humidor. That's not it. You know, something that keeps them good. Keeps them great.
It keeps them real good.
Yeah, keeps them real nice. And you see a table that is stacked pile high with some books and some scrolls. And you see Reese. She is very easy to spot. And you see a person sitting across from her with shades on, nondescript, and that is what you assume to be maybe the sunglasses emoji in Reese's text.
I think Pam walks straight up to the table and dumps a heavy bag on the table itself. Here's a bit of a crack of glass and thinks, "Ooh, yeah, coffee," and just pushes it across, and really loudly drags a chair towards his table and sits down. Looks at both of them. Who's your friend? The sunglasses. I get it now. I get it.
Without even turning, Aminata on the other side of the library just goes, "Pan, really?
Hi, long time no see."
In a beautiful French accent. I hope you all can imagine it. Really?
And like from the other side, she's like, "How are you?"
I'm fine. I've left some books. Wow, that's terrible. On your table. Let me know if you need anything else.
Thank you. And she sort of shuffles the chair forward and looks over to Maltheus. It's like, "So who are you?" Or very suspicious that there's someone this close to Reese, because Reese doesn't normally allow people to get close to Reese. Reese follows people.
Yeah, he's kind of got his chair like just kind of like 45 degrees to the table. He's got like the legs crossed with like the book in a hand, like flipping through it. Just like very calmly looks up at you, like, "Oh, greetings! You must be Pan the friend."
And looks over at Reese. "I am Pan the friend. Yes, I am. And you are?"
"The name's Maltheus. Wonderful to meet you."
Maltheus. It is. And she leans over and you can see a very bandaged like hand all the way up and to hold out to shake it.
Okay, in that case, it's like I'd like kind of not like going for like a firm handshake or anything, but kind of like daintily, just like, you know, just like kind of lifting the hand out and looking at the bandage at the same time. It's like, "Oh, you seem a bit hurt."
Oh, it happens a lot. It's fine. I'll be good in a day. Sleep.
I feel like hearing about Pan being hurt, like in the background behind Maltheus and Pan having their conversation, Reese comes like looming over like a pile of books to peer over at them, and she's like, "Pan, you should get hurt less. Why do you don't have to be right in the middle of the fight all the time. Everyone around us seems to know how to fight too. It just worries me."
She sort of looks over to you. "I'll try to stay out of the..." And she looks like she's about "We protect the town, that's what we do. But I'll be careful. More careful. Better. Maybe not." throwing myself. I'll do better.
Need a ranged weapon.
I can throw stuff
Hmm.
pretty well.
Yeah. I would like to be there to scrap more. I think all that stuff with my old town is done now, so hopefully next time I'll be there and I'll chomp their heads. If
You're
they...
very good at that. And she sort of gives like a bit of a smile at that, almost like it's Reese's back kind of smile. Is it so? Looking back again and forth from Reese to Malthus, is like, why are you here? Like over at Malthus.
Well, before that, would you mind if I help you with this? And would I be able to use this lay on hands at this point to?
You sure can. That would be.
Says
You
cool.
roll plus cool.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So cool.
A 10.
A 10. How much harm were you at last
Not
time?
much. It's literally because as much as I have lay on hands, I forget to use it. I did actually use it on myself
Okay.
last
Perfect.
session, so I think I've got 1.
Well, it's a complete success. So you feel almost like a like the healing stages in just like really rapid speed as you feel a little bit of twinge first as your body, as the remaining wounds on you begin to close, and then you start to feel like the itchy part where like it starts to scab, and you almost go to scratch it, and as soon as you do, you move the bandage as the last of the remaining wounds seal up, and you're at 0 harm.
And she's like, huh, thank you, and sort of pauses for a moment, and she probably gets awkwardly close and sniffs you because she forgets. She's like, what are you?
Malthus.
Is that a thing? You're a mouthy? Do you know what? It's impolite for me to ask. So, why are you here? Which is also very said in a very unpolite way. But she's. What are we looking up? What?
Oh, me and Reese here were just investigating our apparently mutual interest, Marius.
He's a demon.
Yeah, she's
Causing
sort of
lots of
just-
corruption.
Yeah, I don't like him. He's not a pleasant chap.
We
Yes,
gotta
well,
figure out what he wants and how to stop him.
Demons, you know.
Yeah, it's like literally that's going through Pan's head, like bloody demons. Like it's just going through her head. It's like, well, have we found anything? Rituals, evidence of something happening, something.
well, we
haven't-
found that I was apparently too late.
Oh, for the thing that just yeah.
Yeah.
Ley lines.
Yes. Does it say how to reverse and or finish? Stop, prevent.
No. No. There's just a lot of notes in here. I haven't been super good at reading. Malthus did a little better, probably because of the sunglasses blocking out all the haters. I get nervous in libraries, so many haters. My parents are so near. I feel them.
Pan's like, are they here? Like looking around, I don't think she sees.
They're in the other
Reese-
building.
Thing is though, Pan takes blocking out the haters as a literal thing. She's like, oh, I get it. People leave you alone if you're wearing sunglasses in a library.
Every week. I love you all so much. Pan, would you like to join in this research party of ours?
Yeah, Pan is going to be joining in the research and also looking for, if she can,
Okay.
weaknesses of a demon.
Okay. Did you want to roll, or did you want to use your natural 20?
Ooh. Yeah, I'll use a natural 20. Why not? Everything else. Attack.
Okay. You get all the information.
All the information.
Okay, so what specifically are you looking for? We're just going to use, I'm going to allow you to ask 3 of your own questions that you are burning on your mind.
Okay, so she's going through all of these books, and she's talking to herself while she does this. It's like, nope, yep, nope, not that one. Throws a book aside, like moves it across the table, and she wants to know if the process is reversible. If it's not, how to stop it and how to kill a demon. Was it 3 I was allowed, or 2?
3.
3, yeah.
Okay, so the first question is whatever happened reversible? The answer is yes.
Okay. The other one was how, like, is it a ritual? Is it something else? Is something else needed?
Okay. Searching through the tome, you find a ritual that sounds eerily like what you experienced, in that it took what was seemingly a rather bad entity that Ruguru's through most support can live in the world and can be natural parts of the world, but that eventually fall prey to a hunger and tend to lose control. And once they start to feed that hunger, their bodies essentially become corrupted being the $1 million word. But that essentially that corruption needs to be cleansed out of them, and that's why a lot of the ritual says that they need to be drawn to these powerful ley lines, that power alone kind of weakens them so that their body can be broken down. But that there is a separate ritual that's it's almost called, it's like the tainted life, where it takes something that is already corrupted and makes it so that the tainted portion just goes deeper. And that's when it kind of starts to click to you, when you start to remember that Marius was saying that this is his kid, and that it was at one point could have been a whole Ruguru, but that at some point it's been corrupted by a demonic presence, and that alone being sacrificed in that way began to seep whatever that was into the ground. And so that sickness, that demonic presence is now seeped into the ground. And was that the, did I answer that question?
That was the second question.
Okay, so what's the third one?
It was the first one was, is it reversible? The second is how to, and the third was, how do you kill a demon?
Got it. Okay. You've had a little bit of experience with the demon already in previously, where it was you had to kind of exercise that portion of them, but that was just a fraction, and that was just to weaken the vessel. How to kill a demon requires more than just an exorcist or an exorcism. It requires more than silver. It requires more than salt. It requires a weapon. It requires a very old weapon. And the weapon itself is made from it is made from the bone of a pure and good creature. These creatures could not necessarily it's like a lamb. Like, it's not just a creature that you could find that you think is pure. It's like, it is a creature, man or beast, that their life is devoted to good and nothing but good. They could be a holy person, they could be a chosen, but the bone, wherever it comes from, has to be like willingly given, or it has to essentially be traded for. Like, you have to trade something of yourself for it. And that's what you can be used to kill like a higher demon, like a full demon, which you suspect that Marius might be, in the fact that Malthius is saying he's been around. And that's how you could kill the demon. The ritual itself is tricky. Killing the demon would help. It talks of a kind of like a counter ritual that is literally just called the cleansing, but there is not much of that in this particular book, but you at least have a name.
Yeah, she will be like she's got like 3 or 4 notebooks, like tiny little notepads, one that has Reese's name on the front, which is full of all the emoji translations. She's got some of the other stuff on what to remember, like one of them is just a shopping list, and then she pulls out this notebook which is random scribbles. If she went back and read it again, she probably wouldn't understand stuff she wrote like a month ago. So she starts making all of these notes on everything in the book, because I feel she's been told off for just taking a book from here before, so I think she won't just take a page or she'll make the notes. And you said did you say there's artifacts down here?
There are.
I think she'd probably stand up abruptly, almost not an outfit, and turn and start walking and trying to look across all the shelves just to see if there's any artifacts with some form of holy sort of sense from them. She's not necessarily looking to take something, she's looking to get an idea. Okay.
So you're gonna take a look around the library to kind of see what's there?
Yeah, just to have a look to see if there's anything or something that may have belonged to someone that she could talk to who knows these sorts of things.
Okay. Aminata would be a great person to talk to. She handles a lot of the inventory. We'll say that she's there. Malkin would also be a good one, but they tend to like to work by themselves over at Lucy's shop, and you already know that, but they do come through here every once in a while. But currently, Aminata seems to be manning the station.
Yeah, she sort of strides very formally over to Aminata. She's got her notebook out, and she's like, right, okay, so artifacts with a holy thing could be good to kill demons. Also, reversible rituals known as cleansing. What do I need?
Ooh. Well, that's a lot.
I made a list, if that's easier. And sort of puts it down in front of her.
She'll take the list and she'll look at it, still not needing glasses because she's a BAMF. And we'll kind of, these are not things that What's going on, Pan?
Well, I was told that the library holds, the answers to everything, so I came here to find this.
Okay,
She's
well,
tapping on the paper.
The library doesn't hold the answers to everything. We definitely have collected a wealth of information over the years. If we held the answers to everything, then we would be far too powerful. These are pretty big things, and I'm concerned. Has something happened that I am not aware of yet?
Oh, yes. Demon corruption spreading through the land. Problem. She's trying to recall everything after she took a lot of damage. It's more that she's just trying to remember. Big bag demon had a child. Child, not the most well-behaved child, was really bad. Had a problem. Ritual happened. Sacrifice made. Ley lines. Problem.
Okay. Huh. Okay. Right. Yeah, and she just kind of like goes straight into like work mode and goes and just like starts taking this tome and kind of just going through her inventory. And as she's doing that, I think this would be a good time for a break.
Awesome. Okay,
Yes,
everyone,
Great, thanks.
go and grab a drink, stretch, tell your pets you love them, and we will be back in just a second. Bye.
Bye.
Okay, everyone, while the cast are on a break, why don't we get that vote started, huh? I'm going to put in chat our 4 options, and what we'll do is we'll start a poll where you can vote for which one you want to come true. Check out chat now.
Hello! Welcome back, everybody. I hope you had a wonderful break. I went to Bermuda on mine. It was quite nice. The weather was really wonderful. Got a night time. We left off with our previous alpha, Almanata, in the Library of Many Things, with a list of some strange things from Pan, now very concerned as to what may be going on in the town of Silver Hollow. So Pan, you see Amanata kind of like rushing about the library, kind of like scrolling through kind of like the Rolodex of cards of just like of some items that she has, maybe some tomes, kind of like darting back and forth. It's really interesting watching her just kind of like maze her way through this as she's like grabbing this one book and putting it down, and grabbing this one, rolled up scroll and putting it down, and like, yeah, coming back, and she's like, okay. So you're telling me that a demon came to Silver Hollow.
Correct.
This demon goes by the name of Marius.
She nods again.
And that one of our powerful spots here is essentially corrupted and dying.
Correct.
Okay. And she's like flipping through some pages. And she'll come over and she'll sit at the table with Malthius and Reese. Wow, we went lisp on that one. Malthius. And sits down and goes, I know a little bit. And she'll point over at Malthius and go, Marius, I guess, can be considered one of your kind at one point.
Something like that.
He wasn't always named Marius. I can't really find what his original name was. But from what I find, that he was at one point divine. He was good. It gets a little vague. But I've and she kind of holds up this giant book, and in it are like, you know how kind of like you can go into a library and they'll go through the microfilm and it's just all like these newspapers. It's that, but it's in a book. And instead of film, it's actual clippings. And these clippings go back centuries. There's pamphlets, the old kind of pamphlets that you would see back in like Revolutionary War and before, and it's just like, and there's always kind of the same name popping up, and it's not like a book on Marius, but there's a book of kind of, where bad things happen, this person happened to be there as well. And she goes, I feel like killing him is going to be more involved than an average demon. I mean, some demons, they're just born, they're part of the whole thing. There's our deity, there's the Lycan, and us who have been chosen. Obviously there's going to be some on the other side, but this is different. This is somebody was turned, essentially. Maybe the I assume you're looking for the bone. You're looking for a bone of a good person, and it's strange to think that would have been a person that I would have pointed at a long time ago to go to them for help.
Now we just go to them to kill them. Very
in theory,
different.
yeah.
We might not necessarily need the bone. We just need like whatever's going to stop them, because we don't want more people to get hurt.
Well, right now my concern is what happens if this corruption bleeds too far. I don't know what the physical effects are going to be on us. And she looks at you, Pan, and at you, Reese. We're very much tied to this place in a way that not many people are. You know, it's the Lycan, they broke through here, and they've broken through the Veil and other places, but here's where we're strongest. Here's where we draw that power. I can't imagine that it's not going to have an effect on us if it's not already. That aside, and she pulls up another book, and she's like, what I could find on the cleansing is it's not a whole lot. And she's like flipping through. She's like, it's pretty involved, as I would expect probably most cleansings to be. We don't have everything we need here. It's like, I don't even know where to start. And she like flips through more things as she's starting to, she's like, okay, well, we'll need to have, you know, and she starts pulling it. She's like, we'll need to have like a branch from a tree. And she's like, of course, not just any tree. And she starts flipping through again and trying, like, she's starting to write down a list of essentially items to do a ritual. Items that are, you know, not necessarily like pure in nature, but are powerful in nature. Like, so there's like a piece of ashwood, and there is, you know, like a bone from, you know, a holy person, and there's a you know, a silver talisman. And she starts writing these down. She's like, y'all might need to go on a road trip. These are not going to be easy to come by. Malkin and I can put our heads together to try and find these items for y'all to get. But it's going to take us some time. In the meantime, she'll write down, she's like, we could at least try to get rid of this Marius person. We'll obviously need the bone. I hope it works. I don't really know what to deal with this. I feel like we're missing something. And
first things first, Reese will hold up a finger very solemnly and then just look over at Pan and say, we should really be writing this down in your shopping list notebook.
And she sort of takes her notebook back off of I've forgotten her name already.
Aminata?
Aminata. It's because it says Alpha under your name. I can't help myself.
I am the Alpha.
Takes it off and starts like writing it down.
Okay, sorry, Aminata. When it goes in the shopping list book, it means that it's stuff we have to get later.
And like Pan's like, she writes it down.
And we'll say, sorry, Reese.
Oh, I just said now we are ready.
Now ready. And we'll just say that, Pan, as you're starting to write this down, your pen almost looks as if it's phasing. Does that make sense? Mm-hmm. As like a type of smoke, just like as you write, is your pen is just like moving through something that's thick, almost like it's moving through smoke. And for the next hour, you have the ability to see through the veil. So you have an ability called the Sight that allows you to see paranormal things that are unseen to the naked eye. So. And I'm sorry?
Okay.
She'll go, I mean, the first thing I think we can get not too far outside of Silver Hollow. It might be a little bit of a hike. We need a little divine intervention, I guess.
Hike, like a hike. I'd need to get my boots.
A hike. And she'll look over at Malthus and go, "Are you up for a hike?"
That's what we need to do to stop Marius.
Okay. And she'll go and she'll kind of like pull out like a big drawer that you would normally see like blueprints and such in, and kind of pull out a map, and she'll run over and she'll lay the map out. And it's not the normal map that you normally see me pull out of the town of Silver Hollow that I have lovingly constructed, that is right here, that made it in the move. But kind of like a map that is topographical, showing you the mountainous regions, trees, where the park edges are, rivers, lakes, and starts to draw a line kind of up into the mountains. And she says, the thing about Silver Hollow is that everything here is so close to everything on the other side. This is a thin place. It's where good and bad can pass through, and that's why we are here. We're here to make sure that whatever bad passes through doesn't get beyond us. And so we have access to things here that normally others don't. But up in the mountains, there's kind of like a natural deposit of things, iron ore, maybe a little bit of silver, some turquoise lives up there, some amethyst. We're looking for, and she kind of draws her finger kind of over one mountain in particular and says, there's an entrance here that leads into a cave that has a deposit of, essentially, for lack of a better word, it's amethyst. We don't really venture there very often, though, because it's since it's powerful, things tend to feast there. Things that if we don't annoy them, they won't annoy us, and sometimes that's best than just bringing a fight to them. You'd essentially you met those arachne creatures, right? They're like worse. They're worse. They're nastier. And so they live in that cave. That would at least be the first component that we would need to try and cleanse this land, if you're up for it.
I just need to get my boots.
Your boots? Yeah.
Maybe an anorak, because she sort of looks out the window if there is one.
Oh, what?
An anorak. Raincoat.
Yeah. Sorry. Filthy American. Did not know what that was at all. I was like, usually I'm pretty good with the lingo. I know about
Sounded like another monster.
Yeah, I was like,
Anorak.
we're bringing another monster to a monster fight.
Sounds like a plan.
Like, you could have said wellies and I would have been on it,
Yeah.
Reese is just going to start, like, I think throughout all of this talking, she just started like getting up and like systematically putting back all of the books that she had pulled out onto the table. And she'll just slink back over and just loom over Malthus and Pan, and then to say, yeah, well, at least this will be the end of it, maybe, and maybe if we kill Marius, then we don't have to fight so many monsters every week.
And Pan sort of looks up, probably more like up and back, towards Reese. Like, no, I'd say so. I mean, it's a good thing to try anyway.
I mean, there's no quick fix. I mean, I'll get with Malkin, and we'll sit down and try to see if we can locate some of the other things to start this cleansing ritual, and hopefully do it quickly, and see if we can track down any more info on this Marius. But for now, at least we can feel like we're doing something. And if you can just get your hands on a good shard of this material, and she'll kind of flip through a book and she'll show you a picture, and it does look a lot like amethyst, except for its coloration isn't so much lavender. It's a deep purple, and it's very jagged, and through it almost are like these veins of silver. It's quite beautiful and unlike anything you've ever seen. And she'll kind of like take a picture of her phone with her phone, because this is technology. We have technology, and we'll text it to you so you have like a good basis of understanding for this. And we'll sketch out the map for you and hand it to you. And good luck. If you can get in and get out without a rising suspicion, it'd probably be best, but just be careful and make it back in one piece. Hopefully I'll have some more info by the time you get back.
She sort of looks at, yeah, okay, great. Then I've got a flask of tea, and maybe my shoes I'm looking at now might be alright, so I'm ready to go. Also, and she sort of like leans in so that only they can hear, so, could you look up Slenderman for me? I'm kind of trying to work out what it is. I just want some information on it, otherwise I'm good to go. Like, not for now, just...
I'll add it to the list. Yep.
Mm-hmm. Much appreciated. She sort of like turns to the others like, shall we? And starts to walk out of...
Amadada's just standing there like... Our town is in danger. She wants me to look up movies.
She thinks it's really important. She thinks Slenderman is a real thing.
Oh my god, if we fight Slenderman, oh, that'd be a creepy game.
I could make stats for this. I have a bestiary right here.
Hands gonna be there like, it looks nothing like Grease. So fight off. Yeah.
Or she's gonna be horrified and never be able to look at Reese the same way again.
I feel like, speaking of horrified, Reese right now is distracted as they're walking out of the library. As soon as Aminata pulled out the phone and took a picture, she was probably like, I didn't have to come to the library. I could have just Googled all of this. This sucks.
She looks very insulted when you say Google.
No,
it's almost like looking at
like,
Pan and going, yeah, I WebMD'd my symptoms. And
that's why
I have come
she
to the
didn't say
conclusion.
it out loud, for sure. she was just thinking in her head, like,
okay,
I have to come to the library. Also, as they're walking out, she'll turn to Malthius and just be like, I didn't really ask before because you seem pretty experienced, but have you ever, like, killed a demon or a monster or an arachne or a, I guess, human? Have you ever killed anyone or anything before?
Oh, I've done my fair share of fighting. It's part of our basic training, as you could say.
Right. I don't think I actually asked very many questions about your organization or where you came in. Do you work with Inspector Emerald?
Do I?
No. She is talking about a previous player, Agent Emerald, who worked for a secret organization called the Menagerie, but they were, for most part, human. You come from beyond, I assume.
I believe my organization is of a different sort, and there's not many questions I can answer about it.
For those Buffy
You seem very
fans out there,
cheerful
I assume it's like a higher power.
Yeah. Kind of like you work for the church, but you can't tell anybody.
Well,
Yeah.
you seem very capable. So, do you need hiking boots? Do you need to prepare anything? Have you ever had pancakes?
I have not. However, my shoes will suit me just fine.
Great. Since you don't need to go get shoes, we should go over to the diner and have pancakes while Pan gets her boots. And there are no suspicious reasons for me to want to go to the diner. So don't ask, because there aren't any.
He's just gonna do the eyebrow thing again, and then very well, lead the way.
And she'll lurk off in the direction of the diner and just text Pan the usual pancakes, food emojis.
Pancake food emojis.
Mm-hmm.
I was half expecting Alice to come back with a raincoat, and I'm very disappointed now.
I have a yellow one. I will go and get it.
I would be making it references for the rest of the evening.
One of the reasons I picked it. There you go.
We decided to go get. I have to introduce Malthius to pancakes before we leave. So we're going to the diner while you get your boot and coat.
Yeah, she goes straight back to get her boots. Probably fills another flask of tea.
Perfect. Pan goes to retrieve very important equipment, boots, raincoat. I'm going to start calling it arachne. Like an arachne? What was it?
Anorak.
An anorak. She goes to retrieve her arachne water repellent. Reese introduces Malthius to Jay's diner. Malthius J is the current pack werewolf. She is 6 feet tall, pretty broad shoulder, stocky. She hails from Alabama, but so she's got a very thick Southern accent, which is fine for me to do since I hail from Florida. And she, upon even seeing Reese, like, could smell her a mile away just because she's awesome. Already has a table cleared out, and there is a stack of pancakes ready to go. Pan, as you go to get your arachnes, Malkin runs up behind you. Pan.
Yes?
Aminata just... I'm going to try and do the Scottish accent. Aminata just told me that you're going into the mountains, and I had something that I think from my research that might help you a little bit. And he hands you a machete that has been silvered.
She's like stood there, she's taking it in this anorak. The hood is up, like she's got this the hood up and her little bag across the side and these big boots, and she's like, thank you.
And he goes, well, you'd at least not get the blood on your clothes.
What, the anorak?
Yep, it's
I love this.
it's slick. No, it's good. No, I'm not saying anything bad about it. It's good. You might need this. I don't think it's arachnes. I've done a little bit of research, but I know that when in doubt, use silver.
I like that. She's sort of like, she takes it.
Right, okay, alright. Listen.
Swinging it around a little bit, not like a ha-ha, but like she's just trying to get the feel of it. She's not pirating herself here.
Oh my god.
She's like, this is great, and sort of swings it over her shoulder. And she's got her bag across her and a flask of tea in the other hand. Thanks, I appreciate it.
Good luck. Don't poke your eye out. Right. And he'll charge back the other way. One of these days, 5 is gonna be like, what the fuck are you doing?
And I think like Pan doesn't even go. She walks up to the diner, won't go in because she knows she won't be able to resist the smell of the pancakes if she does. So she very ominously taps on the window from the outside by the booth. It's like this machete on one side and flask of tea on the other.
Absolutely perfectly
Anorak.
normal. Yep. Normal, whatever.
It's like,
Yeah.
Reese's first thought is, who gave Pan a machete? And didn't I just tell Pan not to get in the middle?
I can throw it.
How you get in the middle.
Pan is completely remembering what Reese said. Pan's gonna throw the damn thing.
So I feel
Every
like
week.
Yeah, Reese is just like hunched over the table, now like hiding behind a stack of pancakes instead of a stack of books, and is like trying to engage Malthus in conversation, but is super bad at small talk. So small talk is
Reese?
more like
No. That doesn't sound like her.
And Malthus is just the kind of polite, like smile, nod, like give the basic answer to whatever she asks, and basically leave that and just taking like maybe 2 or 3 bites out of the pancakes, and that's it.
I feel like it's like the most awkward first date of all time. Just staring there over the pancakes and just being like, so have you seen a movie before?
I know of your movies, but I have had no need nor the time to really engage in them.
Yeah, me neither.
Mood.
And that's like it for like half an hour. Anyway, and then Pan shows up, and Reese just like looks over, blinks once, looks back, takes pancakes, wraps in napkins, puts in pocket, looms up, and then it's just like, well, I guess it's time to go kill a demon.
Well, let's go find the parts first. And he puts the silverware like nicely down beside the plate and gets up.
I just want to say, I'm so glad you did that. Otherwise, Pam was going to be knocking me. Can you bag me?
How long until this game is sponsored by Aunt Jemima?
I hope so. I'd like that more than Purell, to be honest.
Yeah, like I would like.
Oh God, no! Hand sanitizer on pancakes is a no.
Oh God, no! It's not going to purify your insides. Please don't eat it. Nope. Okay. Well, on that note, you with a to-go snack of pancakes from Jay's Diner. Malthus very confused and concerned for the syrup that is probably going to come seeping through your pockets any moment. You join Pan outside and begin your journey up into the mountains to the location where Aminata had pinged you on the map. It's going to be a few hours to get there. It's going to kind of lead you back towards the section that you see that was corrupted, Pan, and with your site that I think we'll say has another half hour left in it. We'll say you have another half hour of your site. You can see almost like a cancer. Just you can already see the physical depiction of it, where the grass has begun to blacken and brown as it dies, but through your sight you can just see like tendrils as they just fan out in all directions, some leading towards the town, some leading out, some leading back, some leading towards the mountains in the direction that you're going through. And it feels draining, like going to sleep and waking up and feeling as if you've never slept. It just feels awful. And Reese, you feel this too, as just almost a sense of exhaustion just fills you, and you hate to think of what would happen if it continued to spread, what might happen to the wolf side of you that feeds on the energy of this place. And you continue on seeing, moving beyond where it's touched yet the tendrils as they climb up the trees, and then you get back to the greenery as you move closer to the mountains. And you feel a little bit better, at least moving away from that area and moving towards what could be another powerful hub in the mountains. And you get to the path that starts to lead up, and it becomes a little bit steeper, and it takes a good 4-5 hours of hiking. More hiking than either of you have done in a while, being close to the town and heavily imbued with pancakes. So you might be a little out of breath, but you do start to see kind of like signs of the unnatural. Parts of the stone, as you continue to hike up, start to almost be a little bit more iridescent in areas as the sun hits it. The nice like midday, 1 o'clock sun as it hits it, and continue up, and you can see in the distance the mouth of this cave, stark black, and it's full day, but the light feels as though it can't penetrate that section, and you get the sense that you are close to your goal.
I think Pan is, if she's been feeling awkward and nervous on the way up, she's probably been trying to lighten the mood and singing to herself on the way up as she sort of follows, as you said, she's literally looking at everything. She's trying to pick up on anything, or if anyone is, she's very aware that Marius could be anywhere, so she's just keeping an eye on him.
What song are you singing?
Blue Ridge Mountains.
Okay, West Virginia. Sorry.
I feel like Reese is like, of course, like the complete opposite of Pan right now, and it's just like very brooding, and like someone once told me, one of my really tall friends told me once that hiking is harder when you're taller because of gravity or something like that. So I'm just gonna go with that. Reese is tired. There's a lot of her to move uphill, anti-gravity. But she's like really brooding and just like, yeah, that prickling feeling like at the back of your neck when you feel like someone's watching you. She just like has that the whole way up, and it's just like very serious and somber, which is so unlike her.
And Malthus, I think, is like, when you look at him, he looks like a British gentleman taking a midday stroll or something like that up this mountain, and like doesn't even faze him. But like underneath the shades, the part that people aren't, he's like, he is like looking around, like watching the area, because this is a more energy filled type area, and so he is cautious at the same time.
All right. As you move closer to this cave, you can see it, we'll say about 30 feet from you. And as you get closer, the dark of it almost seems to have form of its own, as you still feel as though you can see shadows moving by and through, and you just hear almost whispers kind of coming out. It's like, hush. And it stops where, like, there's a very clean line of where the sun starts and this cave starts, almost like a haze line that you see when fresh water meets ocean water. Just that very clean line of never mixing, never just touching, and never going between each other. And yeah, that's what you're met with. What do you do?
Pan. I'll like scooch over closer to Pan. Pan.
When you say it's dark, like can't see in front of us dark, or?
You can't see clearly within this cave.
Okay. Can I have brought a torch?
Knowing Pan and her bag of many things, if you did not have a flashlight in there, I would be shocked.
Yeah, I think she sort of reaches in, and it's an old torch. It's like a proper big, like, chunky one that as she turns it on, she has to hit it against the wall a few times before the beam comes up. And first of all, she'll hand it to Reese. so that Reese has a torch.
It's
And
very
then she
spooky
looks-
looking.
I was
with
gonna
all
say
her long
Santa, but
hair.
they're like,
Yeah.
and then I think to Malthea, she hands this sword, this machete for a moment, just like, I'm not allowed to get too close in combat, so I'm going to be throwing things, and I don't want to throw this.
Well, I do have my own weapon of preference that is.
Well, if you don't want to use it, I'll take
I'm fine.
I'm immediately like, oh, he said no. That means they said no. That means I get to keep it. Like,
This. How about you don't go into the middle, but if the middle comes to you, you use that.
and she's sort of holding it, and she looks at Reese. She's like, okay.
That seems, yes. I would prefer if the middle came to you that you were holding a silvered machete. So that seems, yes.
Okay, then I will do that.
Should I be a werewolf here right now? Everything's creepy.
If you are, give me back the torch. She's sort of going to take the torch.
As the torch gets absorbed into her
Yeah, I was
werewolf
gonna
body.
say, just let the
Whenever
cat
she
buzz.
farts, just a little bit of light comes out.
It's gonna be the cat buzz.
She kind of like pulls the torch flashlight away, and she just like holds it. So she's like, I kind of like it. And it's just like that image of like the draping long black hair and like the lit up face. She's like, it makes me feel warm. I'll let you know when I go to werewolf form. It's a pretty good weapon too, this thing.
It's sort of it's like a big it's like a hefty one. You know, the ones that take those massive batteries that like that.
Mhm.
There's two of those.
Yeah, the D cell.
Yep.
The ones that you could put in a sock and use as a weapon.
Mhm.
Yeah.
Or in a flashlight and use
In
it
a
as weapon.
flashlight
Yeah.
and use as a weapon. Yep, that too. Don't ask me weird questions.
So as she does that, kind of shine it around a little bit.
Okay. You shine it into the cave, and it does penetrate the darkness like you would normally see a flashlight, but it stops as you clearly see shadows moving, and it almost blocks the beam every once in a while. About another 25-30 feet into the cave.
All right.
I think Pan just gets out her phone with the image that was sent to her and is looking about these rocks. And can I use that veil thing and just see if there's anything else in here with us, please?
Sure. It's technically for an hour, but who cares? I am a kind alpha.
Time or game time?
Yeah.
Okay, listen. With a final sneeze, the snipe comes to you again. The snipe. Listen, I moved across state. I'm very tired. You
Show
see
me the
that
snipe.
snipe? That snipe's so clear. The sight hits you once more as your eyes kind of fade over, and the darkness is no longer dark to you, and the shadows become more corporeal as they take a form of these physical beings. Their faces nondescript, as it almost seems as though they have no nose and no mouth, and their eyes seem sunken and black, and every once in a while you'll just see them kind of turn, and as they do, the skin stretches almost like Keanu Reeves in Matrix, where he goes, you know, and when he's like, how will you be able to call anyone if you can't speak? And but you see no teeth, but you see their arms long and jutting, and the nails, and you go, Aminata, what the hell? These aren't arachnes. And they kind of spot, they hear you a little bit, and they turn, and as they turn, a little bit of the sunlight and the light from Reese's flashlight hits them as they kind of shield their eyes and pin themselves a little bit more against the wall, and their circling around an area at the edge of this cave, you see that it's not a tunnel or something that goes on and on. It's just almost as if it's been carved slowly over time, further and further into this mountain. As it goes in another 40 or 50 feet, you kind of see the back of it, and your eyes just start to go from the darkness to just shiny, as if you just walked into a diamond mine, and you can see the energy kind of ebbing and flowing over these walls, and you get the sense that whatever lies in here is a powerful mineral, and these entities have just been slowly feeding off of it and slowly making this cave larger and larger.
Question, so is this just me that sees these creatures?
Yes.
Okay. Pan sort of stops. She can't help it as all of these things are around. Is like, quick thing, as she sort of half whispers. We're not alone in this cave, and it's not quite what we were told it was. They don't seem to like the lights, so Reese, keep that torch going, and Malthius, if you have anything. And she's sort of like fiddling on her phone to flick the torch light on her phone. She's now like, I want all the light.
If I activate my divine armor, would that give me like a slight glow or something?
Sure.
That's the most majestic
What I was saying is
torch.
like just starts glowing a little bit.
Yes, but I need the most divine description of what it looks like.
And like,
My
show
description,
off.
oh gosh.
I want it to look like what do you look like? Tron with like LED stripping.
That actually, you got this nice, perfect three-piece suit, and all of a sudden you see like these little stripes, almost like reflector stripes from a reflector jacket. Suddenly started glowing like a soft yellow that gets a little bit brighter as it gets fully materializes on the armor, and so now you got like these yellow stripes that have an kind of intricate pattern as it like stretches over the suit, and now you have a patterned suit that glows.
I'm into it. Do you have a disc on your back too that has sorry.
No disc, but a bunch of swirls.
Perfect.
And the suit was plain before, right?
Oh,
Like
yeah.
it always
It
was
was just
plain.
a plain dark gray blackish suit.
I holding the flashlight, eyes kind of like slide over you, and I assume your face is like very nonchalant right now.
Oh yeah, always.
And Reese is just like, so you look like a human, but you were a fancier thing, and your suit looked like a suit, and now it's a fancier thing?
Yes.
Pan is like, who
Yes,
is your
we'll go with
tailor?
that.
Reese is impressed.
I was like, Pan is very impressed.
Yeah.
You'd say that they're tailors from a higher power. It's divine in
Alright.
nature.
Pan,
Alright.
did you tell us also about the shiny and the passageway?
Yeah, she tells them like about all of the rock and how they seem to be feeding off of it as well, rather than anything
Yeah.
else.
Okay.
I was gonna say, could we try positioning all the light and Malthius at a certain section, like push them towards a wall to see if they leave that space of wall?
You want to experiment with your guest? You want to see?
Not
You want to
with the
literally
guest.
do the take them first?
No.
So she wanted to say like, would you mind go standing over there for a second? I'm like,
Okay.
okay.
Yeah,
I
she
would
won't
do
put
it.
him in danger. She just wants to see if they move away from the light.
Okay.
Like if they if they're shying away, she wants to get them away from the wall so they can at least get some of this rock.
Let's see. Who has ever seen the movie Pitch Black? Okay. So
Been a
you'll
while.
know.
It's been a while though.
It's been a while. So you kind of move to the entrance of this cave, and these entities try to get to it's close to you without really hitting that light and start to kind of move around you. And it's not just one or two or three of them. It's almost like a sea of these things, really makes you understand just how dark this cave is. It's just these things are just plastered in there. But they do seem to move slowly around you, or at least away from you. And they make this sound. It's just this haunting whisper, and you don't know if you're hearing it or imagining it, because like I said, there's no mouths on these entities, and their sunken eyes seem to bore right into you. And as it just, the closer you move, the more cacophony of just whispers that you hear around you. But they do tend to, they do look as though they're keeping their distance from you as best they can with the light, but they definitely want to take a slice out of you.
Just walking into a can of stuffed sardines.
Yeah. Stuffed sardines of nasty.
Oh, yay.
I look at Pan and I'm like, do you see anything?
She's like, like, there's all these things. She's like, there's a lot of things around us right now, but as long as we keep the light on us, or at least out, projecting.
What's the battery
outwards
on your
from
phone
us.
right now?
What's the battery on my phone right now?
I don't know, did you charge it last night?
She's not a phone charging person. I can't lie. It's probably at this stage, it's like at 22%.
But question, is she using a smartphone or is she using an old flip phone? Because that'll have a better battery
I was
life.
gonna say I've even said she has an old flip. Do they have torches though?
They don't.
Some of them did. My old
Some of them
Motorola
did.
one
Mine
did.
definitely
Or
did not.
smartphones.
I know my last flip phone did, but I don't know
Oh.
the one.
I love how we're in magical werewolf monster paranormal land, and we're like, do our cell phones have flashlights?
Pick a number, odds or evens.
Evens.
It was odd. I would say you have about 15% left on your battery.
Okay.
Cool.
We'll see.
She's just keeping it very, very close to her.
And you're about to go into a cold cave.
Mm-hmm.
Sucks battery life.
You don't seem like a person who charges your phone, maybe, but are you a person that carries D-cell batteries for this
Oh, she's got
flashlight?
stacks.
So many. Yeah.
Stacks of them. Like
You
you can
always
hear
use
her
those as
rattling.
weapons.
She is a doomsday prepper, okay?
My weapon is my bag. If that hits someone, they're going down.
Oh my God.
All right. So at
Again,
least we have
real life
lots of
Alice.
batteries.
Okay. Yeah, we'll say you got about 15% left battery on your phone. We'll see how long it takes. And you have a flashlight and you have a person light.
Althea.
There we go. I almost said something
Like a
that I thought was clever but wasn't. I'm gonna keep that for myself. And you enter into the cave, I assume?
Yeah,
think-
I was just wondering how big generally is the area that we're in?
The area or the entrance to the cave?
Like, how does it seem like the entranceway in is going to be cramped? Is it hard to tell?
It's actually it's pretty impressive. It's, I would say, imagination.
Math.
I would say it's about it's not squared off. It's been bored, and so it's kind of like a crescent entrance. It would be about 8 feet up, and from side to side, I would say it's probably just like 8 feet all across. So, in whatever circumference, I don't know math, radius.
I think that was the diameter.
Yay! 8 feet in diameter.
All the way across, yeah.
Yeah.
Okay, cool.
And so
cool.
it's you've got a good amount of space. You're not really going to get cramped, at least on the entrance. You don't really know whether it goes more narrow in or how high it goes, but at least from right here, you're not at risk of being super cramped to each other.
I just want to try something. I don't remember if we've ever talked about this, but like, does it cost me anything to go in and out of werewolf form, or can I just...
Sure doesn't. I wasn't going to put a limit on that. Werewolves are awesome.
Yeah. I'm going to pop into werewolf form just before we go in. So, Malthius, you just see Reese like looking around and kind of scanning it and like kind of doing this with her hands as she like
I
determines
was gonna
the
say
height
how
of the
much
ceiling.
space is left once.
Yeah.
Like Reese is transformed.
And then yeah, she's just like a big furry ball of a werewolf that's very silly and goofy looking. But in my werewolf form, can I smell these things or sense them, or do they react at all to me being a werewolf now?
So you can definitely smell it a little bit more now. Even in your human form, some of your wolf senses do tend to bleed through. It smells, I wouldn't say rancid. It doesn't smell like flesh or like meat. It almost, I will say that it has kind of like bat guano kind of smell, like just like something that dwells there. And but with your werewolf eyes, you're able to now see a little bit more of what Pan saw with her sight. And oh god, I just saw the chat. And so you're now able to see those bodies as well, and you can see them kind of moving almost like a sardine or like a flock of birds, where they're just really in tune for each other, and they're sticking mostly towards the sides. There you do look up, and there are some that are on the ceiling as they are just kind of trying to feast a little bit more on the mineral of this cave.
Cool. I'll just like growl really low at them and then like shift back into my human form and pick up the flashlight and just like catch eyes with Pan, because I think we're the only ones who have seen it so far, and just be kind of like, yeah, Malthius, just
Yeah, you go first, bud. We believe in you.
They'll just be like, it's been a while since I've actually witnessed the transformation. I appreciate that. And then he's gonna turn towards the entrance and start walking out. Of course, he still doesn't take off his shades, by the way.
Of course. No. Why would you?
No.
Gotta block out the haters. That's probably why you can't see these things.
Yeah, you're blocking out all the haters.
Blocking out the shade. Oh god. All right.
Now I want to start singing some
Mineral.
Post Malone. So Malthius, you start to move in, and almost like the parting of the Red Sea, they just tend to move around you, and they that wow, words. The cacophony of whispers continues to get louder, but they do form around you. But you are surrounded on all sides from these things now. And you get the sense that if you start getting bad with that divine patron of yours, you're screwed. And you continue further into this cave. It does start to narrow a little bit more, as you can tell that they've feasted on the outside, and then they're just still kind of going a little bit more. It starts getting to the point where it's about a 6.5 foot ceiling, and it's no longer 8 feet wide. You're getting more towards like that 5 foot, where it's starting to really narrow you down. You see a little bit of the flicker as you're going, but you see a lot more, of course, towards the back, because I want you all to be in the thick of it, because I'm the DM and I want max damage. In the back seems to be a lot more of the supply of the minerals. They haven't feasted it out yet. What are Pan and Reese doing?
Reese is looking at the flashlight in her hands and looking at the mineral, and then being like, was I supposed to pack a pickaxe? Can I just... And her brain is just picturing her going up to the rock and just
beating it with the flashlight.
Yeah, she's like, don't you break my torch. Like,
but she's just thinking all of this. She doesn't move, but she's just like looking at, and then she'll just like look at Pen and be like, so do you have a purse pickaxe?
She genuinely checks, I want to say.
I'm gonna say,
oh my god.
I don't know. I feel like you're crazy, and I feel like you just have a random bag of just the craziest shit you've ever heard of. Yeah. But at the same time, I'm like, I don't know if I want you to have a pickaxe. I feel like I want to possibly have you break a flashlight. Yeah, I'm not gonna. You don't have a pickaxe.
I think Is
You're
there
cool,
another
you're not
rock
that
on
cool.
the floor? Is there another rock on the pan? It's damn cool. That is cool as a cucumber.
She's wearing a yellow arachne right now.
Look, I tell you, after this, everyone's gonna go and buy a yellow anorak. Okay.
Mhm.
I just
Sponsored
want
by
I want a
Raincoat
yellow
King
anorak with
Pancake.
arachne on the back of it.
Yeah.
I think Pan's gonna look to see if there's a rock or anything she can use. If there's another rock that's fallen, it's really like a cave.
I mean, there's some stones lying around. I'll say you can get like a boulder about this big. You hope it works.
Yeah, she's just gonna sort of like just watch my back, and she's gonna start trying to hit it like just in the right place. If there's any bit that looks like it's growing out from the side of the rock or whatever it is, that's what she's gonna try.
So you are also going in.
Oh yeah, she's not leaving Reese to go in there.
Okay. Well, so Reese is in too. Okay, who's gone in? I know that
Yes,
Malthius has gone in with their
Oh, I didn't
their
realize
glittery
that was
suit.
Reese had gone
I
in.
thought y'all were just sitting and going, maybe he'll die. Well, no, maybe they'll die.
We'll see if he comes back out. We'll give him 10 minutes. and see if he
10
comes
minutes.
out.
Okay, so Malthius is just gonna be chilling in the back of this cave with like, essentially sharks just chill. Guys, yeah. And so all right.
If they let me wait that long, I do have something I would try though.
I would
You-
actually make you wait 10 minutes. I think she'd follow straight after you.
I'm pretty sure they are like right
Yeah.
behind you. Okay. So
What is
you both
Pan
follow
hitting
in.
the rock with, though?
What?
What is Pan hitting the rock with, though?
Another rock.
I think
Oh, of course.
she's trying to
Right,
chimpanzee
I get
out of
it.
the
I
situation.
found a rock and I want to hit it with the other rock.
I'm
I wanna
just
beat him up
standing
with another
over
rock.
And on that note,
All right. So, how are you all entering in? So, Malthius is a little bit more protected than y'all because they have lights all over their body. You have one forward-facing light.
Oh, did my phone die?
No, you have one forward-facing light. You have no light behind you.
Oh, I see what you mean.
Yeah. Are you gonna go? How are you gonna do
Back
this?
to
You gonna-
back.
I feel like I'm also giving you more than I should. I'm way too nice. I don't actually want to hurt people.
yo, mood as a DM for sure. Yeah, I feel like I'm actually not pointing it straight ahead. You know when you kind of like point a light up at the ceiling to
Mhm.
create that diffusion, perhaps? Maybe it'll light the area around
If you
us.
have something to diffuse it with, yes.
Let me just.
I
check
thought
my
the
back.
ceiling light. But
You can absolutely try that.
yeah.
I
Is
want you to just
Pan's
roll me a
raincoat-
sharp
okay.
roll right now. Just roll me a
Yeah,
sharp
that
roll.
makes
I
sense.
want to. Yep.
Okay. Yep. It's a 3 + 0.
Cool.
But I
You
guess
try
I
to do
filled my
that-
experience bar.
Yeah, we're getting there. You were like, yeah, that feels like something you would do, except for this is already a dark cave and there are like very dark entities and dark rock on the top, so it's not diffusing as much as you want, but you are hopeful as you step into the cave.
Mm-hmm.
Is there a way we could diffuse it more? Can I ask 2 questions? First one
Perhaps.
is, what are the pancakes wrapped in? And second,
Napkins.
am I allowed
Yeah.
to pack sandwiches? Because I don't know if Pam would.
So the first.
She wraps everything in tin foil, so it's like a reflective surface. So I don't know if I could like make a little fan around the torch and it would. It's fine if not. I'm just telling. This is Alice in a cave right now. So
Every week. I just die a little bit more inside. Oh, okay. Pancakes are wrapped in napkins, I believe is what Reese said.
oh, okay.
I
don't have to.
if you wanted to pack sandwiches because you're going on a hike, I could see Pan doing that. You did say you pack tea. Yes, I will allow you to fashion some form of a lantern. While y'all are doing this, Malthius, you said you wanted to try something. I would love for you to have the chance to do whatever you'd like to do while they are constructing some crazy tinfoil hat thing.
I would like to punch the rock and smite.
You'd like to punch the rock. Okay.
Smite
Oh my
that
god.
Okay.
That sounds like, just like a kind of like, not like the 1-inch punch, but kind of like martial arts just standing there and just like a straight short punch.
Like Kill Bill punching her way out of
something
okay.
like that. Yeah, with the divine power of the smite, just like whacking that rock. See if that works.
Sure. Yeah. I think that is going to be a tough roll. Not that it's going to be a difficult roll, but it is a roll for tough.
12.
12. Jesus Christ. Oh, you crit. You just crit. That's fine. Yes.
I mean, with modifiers, the 12 is a dirty 12.
As you are trying to fashion this lantern made from tinfoil, a 25-year-old flip phone, and Reese's just sheer. You hear from the back, wham!
I dropped my tinfoil.
As Malthius just straight up punches the shit out of the back of this wall. And it hurts. Malthius, you are going to take a harm from that.
Okay.
I don't care what anybody says. You just punched a wall. You're not inhuman. But a good chunk of this rock falls. And a few other chunks of this rock falls as a fissure from this. You hit a 12. I'm thinking punch the shit out of this. Starts to go up the wall as more of these rocks start to fall, and it kind of creates a feeding frenzy for these things as they begin to throw their own kind of safety to the wind and swarm at you, light or not, and trying to get at these rocks and trying to get at you. And they're going to slash at you. You're going to take another harm. As they are now swarming around you, but you do have a good chunk of this mineral, and more chunks are starting to fall from the ceiling, and the dozens of these very creepy entities begin to swarm around you in a feeding frenzy.
Okay, I'll start stepping back. And is the chunk, while it's a good side chunk, is a chunk small enough to fit into my magical space?
If you pull out whatever's in your magical space.
Yeah, I'll pull that out. I'll pull out my my whip and start just kind of like circling around me to kind of keep them off me, since they're kind of attacking me too.
Okay.
Instead, put this chunk in the spaces instead, so that they're not attracted to that chunk anymore.
You got it. So you take a chunk about this big, and with a wave of your hand, you pull out a whip, and with the other wave, the chunk disappears. Reese and Pan now hear essentially the sounds of scuffing. The whispers have become louder. You hear a little bit of the rumbling as Malthius, Fusro Dodd a damn wall. And you're still trying to construct this flashlight? What are you doing?
I feel like Reese is like standing over Pan and she's like fiddling with the tinfoil. And Reese just like, yeah, maybe if you just bend it there. Yeah, what about? And she's like holding the flashlight and like shining it around, trying to give Pan light. And then just hears the crack and just like whips over in that direction.
They both freeze and turn at exactly the same time into this. Is Malthius literally like tearing past us, like screaming with this chunk of rock, or is he backing up?
They've started moving back towards you, but there are still dozens of these entities that are kind of pushing into him. If you picture an American Black Friday when they've opened up the Walmart, it looks like that.
Reese is just going to react instinctively, and she's just going to dart forward and like coming up like with the light. Oh, she doesn't think about leaving Pan behind. Pan has the light, she'll be fine, and some tinfoil. And she'll just run forward with the light and just kind of like thrust it into the darkness, while also maybe simultaneously try and like pull Malthius back and give them some momentum to run.
Okay. So you push through, and the light it's deterring some, but you get the sense that these entities are very kind of base needs, where they're like hunger must be filled, that they're willing to kind of like put their own bodies at risk to feed, and they will either feed on you or this mineral. And so they're both, some are shying away and some are just still pushing past you. So why don't you just go ahead and roll me a straight tough roll to see how efficiently you're going to be able to push through these.
God freaking wow. That is 3.
Don't forget, Reese, that you have advantage.
Oh yeah, I'll use my advantage. That sounds pretty good.
Okay, go ahead and roll one more die.
That's a 10.
There we go. Okay, Reese.
Yeah. Sorry, I just realized you said roll one more die, and I re-rolled both of them.
It's fine. It's
Okay.
fine. I'll get over it. You've rolled like shit the entire night. It's been super entertaining. I'll give you the 10. I'll give you the 10. I am a kind alpha. So Reese, in their Slenderman form, just pushes through these essentially crowd of swirling weirdos, and kind of grasped onto your hand, Malthius, to try and assist you in pulling out. I will say, Reese, you do take 2 harm from these entities slashing at you and trying to get past you. So you're taking both kind of like a slashing and a bludgeoning as you're pulling Malthius out. Pan, what are you doing?
Pan has just seen Reese run in the level, like she's got the light and she's just trying to create as much light possible to shine in that direction, like on them, almost to make like a safe channel for them to at least back up and out.
Okay. As you do so, it does start to at least filter some of them around them. Like, at least it doesn't necessarily look like it's deterring them from attacking, but it's pushing them further back into the cave, kind of leaving the front of the cave a little bit more open. We'll say that we have like one more round to try and get you guys, trying to get you all out. Malthius, is there anything else that you wanted to do as you're swarmed by these whispers?
Yeah, I would try to like use my whip to like kind of like whip around us, especially now that Reese is there too, to kind of like whip around us to kind of like turn that way, possibly hit a couple to.
You got it. So I believe that's gonna roll to kick some ass.
Do that.
You're really excited with those rolls.
There we go. Well, that's a 9.
Okay, yeah. On a 9, you do succeed. But there is obviously a consequence, because there's a consequence to everything. Let's see. All right, so you whip this whip around, and it being in divine nature, it's automatically going to really hone in on the weakness of these entities, which obviously are the opposite of divine. And it burns through one and burns through another as it just whips around. But one behind you slashes you for another single harm. Reese.
I am in the middle of everything, and some things just slashed me. So I think that like when I took those slashes, Reese was just like, "Yo, fuck this," and then she's just gonna like go berserk.
Okay.
Reese berserk in her human form. I guess she just looks annoyed. It's her going berserk, so she's just like, ugh. And then is going to still hanging on to Malthius with one hand, and the other one just try and bash shadows with her flashlight.
Okay.
Can I kick them ass with my flashlight?
Yeah, go for it. We'll call that a in your berserker hands, we'll call it a 2 harm close messy.
Okay, let's see if I can actually do this. Oh yay, a decent roll. That's a 9.
Okay. You are able to slam the flashlight into the face of one that is in front of you, as you and Malthius are both working together to pull yourself through this wave. And it kind of hisses at you, one from the flash of the light in its face, and 2 from being just smacked with a big ass flashlight. The flashlight does break,
No.
It does go out. But
And
you at least got that entity out of your immediate way, clearing a little bit more of a path to get you out.
All she's thinking is, if these things don't kill me, Pan is going to.
Going to.
That was her favorite flashlight, because Pan is the type of person who has a favorite flashlight.
Of course,
course.
everyone has a favorite flashlight.
That one's got the stickers in just the right place. Pan, what are you doing?
So
Last ditch effort to get.
Backed?
They are. I would say they're about 15 feet from the edge of the cave.
Okay, she's gonna draw out that machete, and any that look like they're gonna try and grab at them or anything. And she's kind of guiding them, like she's yelling directions as well as they're backing up. She's gonna be swiping at these things.
Perfect. Yeah, we'll say that a couple have circled in front of them, and you can. There's like one or two that have circled to try and block their path that you can try to swipe at if you would like to make the final push to get them out of the cave.
Yes, please.
Okay, kick some ass.
And what is that roll again? Every time I say kick ass, I forget.
It's a tough roll. We'll say that just because you're not really skilled with the machete, we'll make it a straight tough roll as opposed to your precise strike.
9.
Okay. So you reach in and you're able to, with the silvered machete, just slice straight through one of the entities, severing their head as their head rolls away, and kind of with your other arm reaching in for Reese's hand, pulling Reese, who's pulling Maltheus, getting them out of the mouth of the cave and back into the sunlight. And in doing so, you will take one harm from one of the entities reaching out with its claws and getting you, but you are back into the sunlight as another arm goes to reach out, and you see as it sizzles in the sunlight, and it retreats back inside, and you are on the outside. I believe Maltheus is looking a little bloodied.
He is, and he just stands there and like straightens his suit and like does the whole dusting off type thing. It's like, yeah, I didn't think that one through.
I think Pan at that point is like puts the machete in and is like, lay on hands, because I'm actually gonna use it.
Okay.
And I start taking all my bandages out of my bag and everything as well.
Yeah, that's a cool roll for you.
8.
Okay. Well, the good news is you, Maltheus, you healed too.
Yay.
The bad news is you take the 2 harm. So, Pan, the wounds that had healed up from earlier from Maltheus's lay on hands, their final assistance have opened back up, as you have 2 harm thereby directed to you instead.
She buttons up her anorak so that Reese can't see.
Reese can't see it. And you stand now at the mouth of the cave, hearing the feeding frenzy inside, as the sun slowly what time is it? It's like 4. The sun is starting to move towards behind the mountains, but you at least have got your prize safely stored in a pocket dimension.
Yeah,
as we come
Reese
out,
is definitely gonna be like,
pull that out and say, it's like, well, we got it.
What was that, Reese?
Oh, I was just saying, like, oh yeah, Reese would definitely be like, what happened to that thing? I thought I saw them holding it. But then they pulled it out, and then I was like, oh, okay, there it is.
All right, cool. But
Is that a giant mineral in your pocket dimension, or are you just happy
to
to see
me? I want that on a shirt. I want it on a shirt so bad. Oh, write it down. So as you kind of lick your wounds, maybe cursing Aminata a little bit for being a little bit underprepared with what was in that cave, you've at least got the first component, and you're on your way to hopefully healing the corruption that has been laid upon your town, your home, with the help of literally the divine. And that's where we're going to call tonight's session. Welcome back, everybody!
One last quick thing.
Yeah, hit me with it.
Pan, did you cross it off your shopping list?
Oh, she ticks it. She gets out her red pen and ticks it off.
She doesn't even need the red pen, just kind of goes like this.
Yeah, the red pen. Even though that's not uniform to the rest of the list. So if she gets out the red pen, she wouldn't.
It's blood.
Yeah.
It's blood. It's 100% blood.
Love it.
Anyway, awesome.
But yeah.
Awesome. Thank you.
Yeah, I believe, Alice, you start us with things? I don't know. Do you want me to control this?
Yes.
We're tired.
I need an adultier adult.
Okay, so let's head round and say again where we can find us, and also what was our favorite bit. So we are going to go in reverse this time, and we will start with, I'm going to say it because virtual madness. Why?
We stand the virtual madness.
Thank you.
What was your favorite bit?
My favorite bit, I mean, I've been laughing this whole time, so it's a little bit difficult. Although I would say your yellow arachnid.
The yellow arachnid, yeah.
I kind of took the cake.
Yeah.
Awesome, thank you.
And where can we find you?
You can find me on Twitter at vert_madness. And I retweet a bunch of people who do giveaways and other stuff from D&D and other RPGs because that's cool.
Awesome, thank you. And then we're going to head round to Lily Sparks. Oh, hi.
Well, hi, it's me, Lily Sparks. You can find me on Instagram and Twitter at Lily Sparks with an X. I'm currently on hiatus, but I have a bunch of stuff on there that's all kinds of content. And I'm also doing updates on my Patreon blog, and I'm also streaming. So you can find links for all of that stuff by going to my Instagram and Twitter. And of course, you'll see me here every Friday. And very exciting, I'm going to be in an upcoming game with a very cool GM who is the amazing White Rabbit Pick. And that is starting this Friday, so that's super exciting. I have the longest backstory I've ever written for a character for that game, so please come check it out. It's gonna be so great. And yeah, come and see me here every Tuesday and find all of my other stuff over there with the links in the chat. Thank you.
Awesome, thank you. And then let's say hello and goodbye to our alpha.
Well, woo there, everybody. I am Kai Gaston. You can find me on the Twitter sphere at Crit Charisma. I am the alpha for In the Light of the Moon. My favorite thing every week is obviously being able to play with such amazing people and seeing what craziness you make of the story. I definitely missed my werewolf shenanigans with having only one werewolf at a time the past few weeks, so I'm really happy to see that back. I don't know what my favorite part would be because
I forgot mine. Can I jump in while you think about it?
Yeah, you take yours
mine.
and
Can
then
I
I'll
jump
think.
In while you think about it?
You
somebody
take yours and
please
then I'll
out
think.
there in the world, please make fan art of Pan in her raincoat and rain boots, holding a silvered machete and a flask of tea. She's being like, okay, because I literally just picture Alice and
I mean, when I came,
so good, but also Alice combined with Alice's creepy little girl voice from the Cthulhu game last week, and just tapping on the window for pancakes. My face hurts from laughing. That was my favorite.
I mean, that is just me IRL, but yeah, that's fine.
I mean, Alice sent me her Pinterest board for this character, and I literally messaged her like 20 seconds after. Was like, so it's you. She's like, yeah, I guess it is. I don't know. I think, is that a mineral rock in your pocket dimension, or are you just happy to see me? It was pretty freaking amazing. But I think my favorite is just all of my children. I love all of my children the same. But I live
note on
only
your
here.
board next week.
I live only here. I think, yeah, that's all I do. Hello. See us on Tuesdays. A woo. Everybody a woo.
Oh, ooh.
Awesome, thank you. I am White Rabbit Pick. White Rabbit Pick on Twitter. I do a load of photography stuff. As we said, I will be starting our new campaign on Friday over on Tales from the Grim. If you love heavy sci-fi, head over for that. Also, before I announce all of the sponsors and sign off, please stay tuned until after the trailers, as Scrat is going to come in and do a special announcement for something exciting that is coming soon. So stay tuned. So thank you to our sponsors, as I catch my brain up, in the form of Mage Hand Press, which has their Dark Matter, and you can see their Fae Folio tomorrow. Hero Forge with their painted minis. Also, you can see tomorrow, come watch me and Scrat drink coffee and paint minis. It's rather amusing. Also, the Deck of Many with the Deck of Many Things, the Magic Moving Spell cards, and Humblewood, which is the other of our viewer games. Also, Dungeon Fog with their maps and their notes that they correlate with each other. So if you update one, the other one automatically updates. It's really fantastic stuff. I'm trying to think. Also, check out our Discord. We have a channel just for this. So head over there and let us know what you think. If you've missed out on anything, please head over to YouTube and you can catch up over there. And last but not least, if you want to get into this game or any of the other viewer games, I run one of them, you can head over to Twitter and drop Scrat DM. Otherwise, stay tuned for the special announcement and we will see you later. Bye.